Hey, welcome back to Frank's Model Works. I'm Frank. Popping on really quick to help out my friend Joe at Model Building Corner. Joe, I was just watching your video on the 69 Camaro you're doing. So I have some stuff I want to show you, and hopefully this helps, or it helps anybody who's building the latest issue of Revell's 1969 Camaro, the SS with the things in the hood. Just hurry up, get up there. Get up on the stand. Okay, Joe, I just watched your video on doing the panel lines for the 69 Camaro, and I noticed that you're using this boxing, which is the latest boxing. Just so you know, the mold separation lines for that model are on this model outlined in magenta. So they start down here in this valance, they come up around the grill, they go along the fender, then up the sill, over the top, and then in here is where a lot of folks miss that panel line, and it's pretty pronounced if it's not taken care of. Then it comes back around, folds around, and shows up. Good rule of thumb, if you use a Sharpie, if you run a Sharpie along somewhere that doesn't have a panel line, it's just gonna leave a pretty long line like that. But if you come down, like say in here, notice how sharp so that's riding on a panel line. In here in the fender line, in the fender wells, it's riding on see how sharp that line is? That's riding on a panel line. So that's a good rule of thumb for finding them. And here is that panel line unmarked right there as it comes down from the sill onto the quarter panel. It is right there. And then it runs along the top of the quarter panel like that. Okay, so that's how you find the panel lines. Now for the thing that you have, the problem that you're running into over here in this fender well, this is definitely a short shot or a problem with the mold, because again, this body is out of this kit, and I have the same thing that you're talking about where the molding seems to clip off and then disappear. This body is out of this boxing of the kit, the Yanko from, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years ago. It's starting to happen, but it's not as pronounced on this kit. It's definitely not. Let's see if we can get them right up close to each other. It's definitely, this is the older one, this is the newer one, and you can see this is much more pronounced problem over here. So a way to get around that would be either build up here in this area so that you can have an even, I took calipers to this, and it's right in the neighborhood of 0.04 inches. Let's see if we could get that. That's the width of the molding trim that goes around. Evergreen Plastic makes a 0.040 half round. It's Evergreen item number 240. So one route that you could go would be to add styrene in this area. First clean up because there, like I said, there is a panel line in here, and it starts over here. So clean up that panel line in there. Make sure that you have, a finished surface, and then either build up in here with some styrene. I wouldn't use putty because it's going to be imprecise. It's going to be annoying. So I would get a piece of appreciable size putty, sheet plastic, to build that up. Or, because it's kind of like you're probably going to have to do this anyway, maybe sand off the molding around this fender well, and then tack in some of the 0.040 half round to get the trim. And then once you've established the trim, then build up so that you have a nice rounded and properly shaped fender well to go with it. That would be the way I would approach the problem. So if anybody else is having this problem, this might be a way to go in order to dig yourself out of that. Try to keep in mind, although this is the best 1/25th scale 1969 Camaro out there, there's really not much they can do to make this better. I mean, it's really just a very well proportioned, nice kit, but it's pretty long in the tooth. I mean, I think it first came out in 1989, somewhere around there, 1990 maybe. So this thing's going on 35 years old. So it's getting a little long in the tooth. So you're gonna start to see issues with that. You can almost see it beginning here, because as the trim comes down this side of the fender well, it is starting to thin, but it does still exist. Whereas on this one, it's almost gone. So they might have to put some money into this mold to update it. Although I think they put money into it to do the new hood, but what are you gonna do? So that's how, if you're gonna build this kit and you want to get rid of the mold lines, then this is where they are. You follow them around with a Sharpie and then sand them off to get rid of them. And then as far as this problem over here, that I would get rid of this trim, replace it with .040 styrene half round, and then build up the surface in here in order to match the fender, the wheel well opening. So, Joe, I hope this helps. I hope it's not too late. And if this helps you, let me know in the comments. All right? We'll talk to you soon. Later.